Tony Blair's Institute of Global Change recently produced a paper entitled "Ending the Big Squeeze on Skills: How to Future-Proof Education in England." A report that was immediately attacked by some parts of the press, most notably because of its call to scrap GCSEs at 16. The paper covers three main areas: assessment of pupils, school inspection, and the curriculum. And the report does make some very valid points. It bemoans the narrowing of the curriculum in many schools. It recommends that schools be judged by a far wider range of metrics than just exam results. It sees progress measures and value-added measures such as Progress 8 as being far more reliable indicators of school effectiveness than raw score results such as EBAC scores. And it sees Ofsted as potentially having a much greater role in school improvement rather than simply grading a school and then walking away. This latter point is something for which I've often called in these videos and in articles, that whilst external inspection is essential, we should move on from banging on the chicken shed every 4 years and make Ofsted a vehicle for professional dialogue and for genuine school development. The report isn't really political. Yes, it congratulates New Labour for the Academies programme and for projects such as London Challenge, whilst also quietly failing to mention Blair's ludicrous aim of sending 50% of youngsters to university. But it does equally acknowledge the various reforms of successive Conservative administrations. The Institute's report falls down, however, because of a combination of dogma, arrogance, and simply a lack of knowledge and experience. Its criticism of passive forms of learning and its calls for use of technology in learning platforms in schools simply imply that the authors haven't set foot in schools recently. Online programs such as My Maths, Hegarty Maths, Duolingo, etc. are now ubiquitous in schools. Whilst in most subjects, engaging youngsters in their studies, getting them to apply, evaluate and critically analyse topics is second nature to most teachers. For me, the Institute's paper makes three serious and actually quite dangerous recommendations. Firstly, the emphasis on skills. Of course, this country has been woefully inadequate in developing vocational and technical education. It's also clear from employers' organisations such as the CBI that many youngsters are not work ready. Many need to be able to think more creatively and critically. But here the report is simply naive. Once more, it repeats the old skills versus knowledge debate. Both are crucial, but we don't want knowledge for its own sake. It's knowledge to aid understanding, and it's knowledge which can be used and applied. Furthermore, education, of course, is about much more than simply being ready for work. It's about understanding the country and the world in which we live, which requires knowledge. It's about the development of the whole person, about resilience and growing the individual character, all of which, of course, increase a youngster's employability. Secondly, despite criticising the narrowing of the curriculum and the increasing restrictions placed on academies and free schools, the report calls for a new national curriculum based on numeracy, literacy, science and digital skills. And this new Blair curriculum would be made mandatory for all schools, including academies. But this proposed new national curriculum is even narrower than the current one, and it smacks of utilitarianism. Literacy, but where's the literature? Science, but where are the arts or the humanities, despite the report acknowledging that art subjects improve cognitive skills and academic achievement. The report stipulates digital skills, but where are the physical and practical skills? Ironically, the report recommends stability to stop the curriculum lurching between ideological idiosyncrasies, i.e., once the Blair curriculum is introduced, it shouldn't be changed. Thirdly, the report recommends that GCSEs at 16 be scrapped and be replaced by a programme of continuous assessment between 16 and 18. Now, of course, getting pupils to research topics and to develop arguments and research in depth is extremely worthwhile. But there are practical problems. How do we ensure comparability between subjects and schools? A problem highlighted during the 2 years when exams were suspended. How do we ensure authenticity? Many teachers will share similar anecdotes to my academically weak Year 11 pupil who got full marks in his coursework because it was completed by his academically able elder sister. Not to mention, of course, the involvement of over-supportive parents, to the greater disadvantage of those who do not have a supportive home background. Exams force youngsters to perform independently, while asking them to learn material is also an essential skill. This is not learning for learning's sake, and again here the report shows a lack of understanding. It is learning so that youngsters can apply, analyse and evaluate knowledge in an exam setting. And learning, as I say, is an absolute essential skill. You cannot speak French if you do not learn vocabulary. You cannot debate history if you do not know the facts. By all means, let's use reliable forms of continuous assessment. But if we really want to raise standards, scrapping the academic rigour of exams is not the answer. Finally, if we really want to future-proof education in this country, then the first thing that we need to do, and something which the report completely fails to mention, the first thing we need to do is to find enough teachers. As I've argued before, there are several simple strategies for improving teacher recruitment and retention. But as long as we continue to lose almost 1/3 of teachers within their first 4 years in the profession, then the big squeeze will not be on skills, but will be on finding enough good teachers to teach those skills.